These Hot Idiots is a podcast featuring our hosts, two full-grown adult men. Together, they watch teen drama and young adult-oriented television shows one episode at a time. These Hot Idiots is a comedy podcast and isn't meant to be taken as real criticism. This podcast uses adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to the Gimmick Table, where we look at bad wrestling gimmicks and try to fix them and make them good. No.
I'm Ash. That's Mega. We are talking about Mantor today. Remember Mantor?
That would require, I feel like, our viewers to actually know what wrestling is, and given that we've regularly explained our references, I think that's out of the question. No, this is after 2 weeks gone, we are back with These Hot Idiots and the Vampire Diaries.
The heat wave's over, so I can finally record again.
Yeah, first week he was high, and then he was hot.
I was high, and then I was hot. Shit.
But now he's neither.
Now, well, I mean, I was high earlier, but I came down.
Came down.
Our Klaus is a very special Klaus. Our Klaus.
Very, very nice Klaus.
Our
With
Klaus.
two Klaus in the yard. Life used to be so Klaus.
Now everything is Klaus.
Because of Klaus.
Our Klaus. In the middle of our Klaus.
Season 2, episode 19.
Klaus. We started watching the recaps in Spanish.
we just decided I think it was just because you saw that you could change the language to Spanish, so you switched the recap to Spanish.
Catarina. It was great.
It would be a very dangerous idea, but we might do. If they have like a full-on just flashback episode, we're switching to Spanish halfway through.
Spanish flashbacks is going to be accurate if they were all in Spain. Elijah's alive, and he's all wiggly.
He's getting all wiggly and bent up out of shape because he wasn't invited into the Salvatore house.
Yeah, our house. Invite into the house. Our house.
It is definitely the question of
he like gets up, starts like choking or asphyxiating, and then like
he can't breathe.
No clips into the door, and then like gets dragged out like he got hit with the gravity gun in like Gary's Bond.
He's getting ragdolled out of the house, basically. I always say no clip, because no clip would, I think, imply that he just phases through the door. I think he might be just ragdolling.
Yeah, he's like ragdolling up the stairs. And then we get a flashback in some vague England time. No,
1492.
Oh, 1492.
They give us a whole fucking text thing that said like England 1492.
When everyone had long hair. And
everyone wearing just really bad wigs.
Everyone's wearing really bad wigs. And so it's when Elijah meets Catherine at a ball.
Being introduced by Trevor to the Lord Elijah.
The Lord Elijah. And back in real time, it was Elena. I said it was Elena.
God damn it.
Also, the flashback, Catherine has a British accent, so he's like, "Hello, governor. I'm Catherine.
I'm Caterina.
Hey, I'm Italian now."
I'm sorry, my British, it's hard to say an A name without it turning Italian in my brain.
So after he neumes out the house, Elena tries to talk him into doing this behind Damon and Stefan's back. And he's like, "How can I trust you?" So she hands him the knife that she used to stab him.
I mean, I guess that's a way of proving you're trustworthy.
Stefan wakes up and realizes Elena's missing faster than like a dad who realized you touched the thermostat.
Elena touched the thermostat.
Brother, what's going on? She touched the thermostat, David. I had it on 71, and she turned it down.
69, and all that is nice. I can't have her touching the thermostat, Damon.
Do you think I'm made of money, Damon? We own a mansion.
Do you think I made of money, Damon?
Do you think I'm made of money, Damon?
Just like goes like fucking vamp face and just slams him against the wall.
Zoomies into the wall.
Yes.
Damon's keeping the news lady around because free
Andy,
blood.
yeah.
But she's got to go to work, and he gets all sad puppy face about it, like.
One blood.
And it's like, they took Elijah, and they go to check, and it's just an empty room, and it's like, God damn it, why didn't we bury Elijah? We just had him.
Why did we bury him?
We just had him in our fucking basement.
I'm telling you, man, a lot of the Elijah-related problems would be solved by just burying him.
Just bury him. I mean, I guess he's helping now, but you could have just fucking buried him, really.
He's helping now, but they don't trust him. And it feels like a lot of the problems that they would have would be solved by just burying him. I'm fairly certain that Luca and Jonas would still be alive.
Yeah.
If they had just buried him.
Yeah, because they tried that stupid possession thing and tried to pull the knife out and then got lit on fire.
Yeah, the ghost knife pull trick, and then it didn't work.
Trick, instead of just like getting a shovel. I don't know.
Yeah.
So they're in Elena's car, and just Elijah's just drinking this bag of blood in broad daylight.
He's sucking the blood bag. He's sucking it on like a Kool-Aid jammer.
Is this one of these Kool-Aid jammers, as they call it? Stefan calls
we're going to
Elena.
get to a line like that, and it's going to be amazing.
Stefan calls Elena, and she's like, nope, working with Elijah here. And he's
helping
like, what?
Elijah. That's how it go.
And it's like, I can trust him, Stefan. Elijah knows the code of honor. He knows you have to shake hands at the start of and at the end of every match. And he knows about no closed fist strikes. And you get 3 rope breaks.
And you can't have members of your stable interfere in the match.
Yes, that is the code of honor, Stefan.
The code of honor.
Also, it's the code of honor for Ring of Honor.
Yes.
So we get another flashback with Elijah's curly ass hair.
Oh my god.
And he introduces him to his brother, Klaus. In the context of this conversation, because Elena was explaining to him that, like, Klaus body hopped into Alaric, and it was kind of implied that it's like, oh yeah, that's one of his tricks.
One of his tricks.
And they cut to a flashback, and then we see this guy in a wig. He kind of looks like Matt. He looks a lot like Matt, except he's a little skinnier, I would say, and also he has more of a distinct hairline.
He looks so much like the actor Joseph Morgan looks so like similar to Zach Rurig that we were convinced that it was just Zach like playing Klaus.
Flashback Matt, but no, It was not flashback Matt. Klaus has a widow's peak. Matt does not have a widow's peak.
Yeah,
it's just that you can't see the widow's peak with the wig.
The face is just so close.
But they got the same kind of thick eyebrow, kind of squarish face looking. Even though, like, you kind of forget how square Matt's face is because you're next to the actor for Elijah, whose head is built like a Moai head.
Indeed.
He's got a chiseled jawline. And it's like...
These flashbacks are just basically going to be going throughout the episode.
Yeah, Elijah talks to some bitch named Carol and compels her to come in, and that was Tyler's mom.
That's Tyler's mom. At some point, he had forgotten that Mrs. Lockwood's first name is Carol.
And then Jenna calls, and she's left college. She's just in town at her house. She
left the campus and came back for some reason. Does she actually explain why, or is that she just kind of came back?
She was concerned about what was happening, and also Elena wasn't answering the phone. Alaric wants her to meet at Spoon's Grill, but, they're begging her not to go to Alaric.
Don't go to Alaric at the Spoon's Grill.
Don't go to Alaric at the Spoon's Grill. Also, Damon's just being like a little salty bitch this whole episode.
Because Elena told Stefan, Make sure that Damon doesn't do anything stupid.
It was Stefan calling Jenna. Now I remember.
Yeah, and earlier Elena told Stefan not to have Damon do anything stupid, and it's like, that's a tall order there, Elena.
Anything stupid is Damon's middle name.
Damon, anything stupid, Salvatore.
Exactly, and it's an Italian. Anything stupid. Elijah talks to Elena about, like, why, they were opposing Catherine so much. It's like, have you considered that Katerina's kind of a bitch?
Yeah.
Klaus is Elijah's brother. And they were from a really big family, like 7 kids.
Yeah, you know how it is. Your wife pumps out like 50 kids, and then like half of them die of polio or something.
No. It's the ideal American nuclear family. You have 8 kids
in England.
In England, you have 8 kids. You send 5 of them to a mine. 4 of them die, and then the one comes back. You either marry or they murder your dad. That's just how it goes. And then the 2...
They inherit the fortune that you don't have.
And then they inherit the fortune you don't have, and then you sell your daughters off when they're like 13 to some old fuck because he wants to have kids. And that's what values are.
That's traditional American values
values of 14...
in late 15th century England.
In late 15th century England. That's
the American dream.
The American dream. Why is no one having kids anymore? I don't know. Maybe it's because they don't get crushed at a car factory anymore like they used to.
Yeah.
You could just have a kid and he could be stupid and play baseball. That's the privilege of not living in the shit world of the fucking 1800s.
Yes.
It's a privilege that you can have 2 idiot children, and like that's all you need.
That's all you need.
You raise one with a phone, and you raise the other with the kid that you raised with the phone.
As you do.
As you do. And then you go to work 60 hours a week because this economy is unsustainable. My BF was on earlier.
What was that?
My partner was on earlier, and he's like, "Oh, I want to hang out." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll rush through this," and then I just start talking about like.
And then you just start talking about politics.
Politics and gender roles in the 1800s.
In the economy.
In the economy. So Elijah is slowly turning over a new leaf with Elena, and hits her with the OMG line.
Oh my god, let me see if I can find it. It is on the wiki.
Fun fact, they got transcripts on the wiki now. Or either that or we didn't notice, but it's very
We just never use them,
We never use them because we're trying to remember with our stupid brains.
Yes. Elijah, I'm a bit behind the times, but I believe the term you're searching for is OMG.
Yes. Klaus has got, as they say, the Riz.
You weren't saying that yet.
You'll say it in the future.
What throws me off about this is the fact that Elena doesn't use nearly enough like slang for this joke alone.
She's never done any like millennial slang. She's never said OMG or like fail or all the other things that we said back when we were like late teens, early 20s.
Yeah, no, she has not been any bit epic bacon about this.
She is not epic bacon. She hasn't told the pizza vampire to get pwned.
No.
She didn't call the burgeoning witch Bonnie a noob.
No, not at all.
God, that would have been insufferable.
Oh my god! Well, because the thing is, that usually is more indicative of like California, like L.A.
California.
And this is Virginia, so
yeah. But I would say what the culture is, and I might be wrong here, and I might have a controversial opinion, but like, it's kind of like a culture is made in a big state like New York or California, and then everyone adopts it in the next like 5 or 10 years. So that's why you always get those like weird California people and their weird California isms, and then like 3 years later, everyone's saying fucking example.
It takes 3 or 4 years, and then everybody's dabbing.
Everybody is dabbing on them haters. Or they're hitting the Dougie Fresh or whatever.
I feel like not a lot of people were hitting the Dougie after a while.
Okay, fine, but they could like I'm just saying I'm gonna call it the gritty period.
Yes.
Like the farther east you are, the longer your gritty period is when you're hitting the gritty. I'm 30.
We're in our 30s.
Yeah. Oh fuck, man, that feeling that like you're not young.
You're not young, but you're not even old yet.
No, like that. I got that feeling a lot at my old job, where it's just like I would look at people and go, I would look at their ID, and I'd be like, "Why the fuck are you younger than me?"
I did have a coworker younger than me ask me what my age was, and they were honestly shocked because that I said 32.
You know,
apparently I do not look it.
You know what's weird about like the previous generations of people who are 32?
Mm-hmm.
They look way older than us.
Yeah.
Like you'll see pictures of like, oh, this is when I was 30, and like all their hair's gone, and like they got like wrinkles on their face already, and it's like, what the fuck happened? And smoking and drugs and beer. It's mainly
yes.
I don't know, man. They used a lot of drugs.
I guess that's what's been keeping me as young looking as I do. I don't drink and I don't smoke and I don't do no drugs.
I do a little bit of weed, but it helps me feel better. That's about as much as I take.
And weed is not a major aging thing, man.
Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, I'm not showing any signs of old besides my tired fucking eyes, but I've always had those. Okay, where were we?
Elijah said OMG.
Elijah said OMG. Katarina's having a party. she be boozing.
Is that now? I thought that was a little later.
Well, she's boozing, but she's not partying, and she hears Damon coming.
Yeah. She's just angry drinking, and then, Damon and Andy arrive at the door.
And I guess part of her compulsion is she can't open the door by herself?
I didn't think that's what was happening. I thought that it was because there was like a sun, like there was an open window near the door, so when she tried to open it, it would go, Sa! But if it's the compulsion thing, then okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't know.
How do they open the door again?
Well, couldn't you just say come in or something? Can a vampire,
something like that?
I think a vampire can invite another vampire, right?
I mean, I think it is just basically whoever owns the house can invite you in. But also, this is a hotel or an apartment building?
So, Stefan shows up at Jenna's place and thanks her for not going to the grill with Alaric, and then Alaric's just there, and Alaric went to her place instead. It's like, goddamn.
So,
hey guys, we're back. Short version, a long time ago, I knocked my computer over and I broke my headphone in the plug-in, and we had to get a new headphone, but I think the headphone plug-in's broken, and I think it might be crashing my computer, so I've had to switch where I'm plugged in. If it breaks again, I'm going to have to tell Mega Fighter to be the one to record these. I'll have to teach him.
Probably, yeah.
Because that's the only other way I could think of like avoiding this issue, and then I might have to go like get my computer fixed.
Get this computer fixed, yeah.
I need to find my notes. I lost them.
Yeah, we were...
Oh, okay. Brave lets me restore page. Awesome. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so where we were, Alaric was at Jenna's house.
At the Gilbert house. Because I think we already said about, just to reiterate, Jenna was told not to go at the Spoon's Grill to meet Alaric And Lark found the loophole, or Klaus found the loophole of, I'll just go to the Gilbert house and
I'll
meet
just
her
go to the
there.
house and hang out with her. And, she's like, all right, guys, you better start splaining. You got some splaining to do.
Yes, and we go a long time of them kind of going around the point of, like, vampires are real. Basically, they tell her vampires are real, but
Vampires
Klaus
are
just
real,
takes forever.
but it takes forever, and Alaric's like chopping vegetables and is like, I love holding a knife.
I love knife.
I love knife. And Alaric Klaus admits he's sexually obsessed with vampires, and Jenna's like, what the fuck?
Essentially, he just says he's obsessed with vampires.
I want
to
have sex with them.
We're kind of interspersed between this and Elena and Elijah kind of talking about...
Elijah talks about how nothing can kill and the original, besides that one tree. But that
and
is
also
not
the curse of the...
And that the curse of the sun and moon is fake. Because what they did is they went to every region and then put in folklore about the curse of the sun and the moon so they can find doppelgangers easier.
Because the curse they're trying to break is revealed later to actually be a curse on Klaus.
Klaus's curse, the Klaus.
And also there's flashbacks to Katerina and Elijah talking about...
I have Roman parchment.
Oh yeah, there's the Roman parchment, and also that they did this with, like, Aztec, like...
They
Aztec,
did it in, like,
carvings
Aztec, like, fucking Central Mexico, and they did it in, like, Africa. Somehow. It's just like, you two are white as a sheet. I don't know.
It definitely made me uncomfortable with the idea that it's like they were planting seeds in other regions to set up this curse of the sun and the moon.
Like
idea.
The only fucking place white people would be is the Horn of Africa, because that's how you circumnavigated the globe before the Panama Canal was a thing.
Mm.
But, like, do they mean South Africa, or just like they just went to, like, Djibouti and just were like, oh, who's this really pale guy?
Right.
Oh, he's telling us about the sun.
The curse of the sun and the moon.
Ah, yes. These fellow Africans.
These very obviously African men.
Either that or
Elijah and Niklaus.
Empiric blackface was a thing, and I don't want to admit that.
I don't want to think on that.
I don't want that to be a thing, so I'm not.
It's also sketchy enough where it's like they're adding to non-white mythologies.
Yeah, well, that's a little sketchy, but at least it gets us. It gets us here, I guess.
It gets us here, and they're mainly just talking about they're probably just kind of looking at whatever the closest thing those cultures had to vampires and werewolves, and kind of like
Quetzalcoatl.
No, not Quetzalcoatl. That's a dragon.
Oh, well, if someone was a dragon, that'd be cool. We found out dragons are real. Why not Quetzalcoatl?
That's true. Not Quetzalcoatl, and God help me, I keep trying to avoid the worst joke I could. Fucking don't watch Dragon Maid, people.
Don't watch Dragon Maid. That guy, he's got some sus interests.
He's got some sus shit, yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to say anything legally binding, though.
Because we don't have any evidence of otherwise.
Jen is real unhappy about this sexual fascination with vampires and tells Alaric to get to Stepan and,
get out, and
Stefan's
Alaric's like,
knuckles,
knife.
You heard the woman, and Alaric's just like, knife. Knife, gun.
And then Stefan, like, gets the knife away from him and slams him up at the wall. And he's just like, Jenna, get out!
Get out, Jenna! And Jenna's confused, so he yells at her with vampire face. And she leaves, and then he punches Alaric, and then just starts kicking him in his ribs.
Just starts rib kicking him while he's down. It's like holy shit.
Because I'll just take over someone else.
Punch!
Kick.
Always love this about Stefan.
Alaric
also,
or Elijah.
Just because I want to bring this back up.
Oh, okay.
At some point, Trevor, who is like Katerina's love interest in the flashback shows up during like the end of a flashback, but the way his clothes look, it makes it look like he's wearing a biker jacket.
Yeah, he's wearing like a leather jacket and a Hawaiian shirt. It's so weird in the past.
Well, I think it's supposed to be like his white shirt is stained with blood, but it's
Yeah,
still.
but no, it turned it
he
into
was-
like I'm a tourist visiting Hawaii.
He's got these biker leathers on. It's so weird.
Yes, how do you do, fellow 1400s people?
Fellow late 15th century Englanders,
Yes.
look upon my cool leather jacket.
Look upon my cool leather jacket. Jenna talks to Elena about vampires, and Elena apologizes and she's saying, I didn't tell you because I wanted to protect you from this, and I'm going to tell you all the things now, and then they hug.
And Jed's like, I should be protecting you and Jeremy. But she also brings up that when she was little,
When I
Elena's mom would tell her bedtime stories about vampires, and I'm just like, who reads bedtime
Once
stories about
upon a
vampires?
time, vampires are real, and they're coming to kill you, Jenna. What?
Go to bed.
Go to bed. Have a good night.
I don't know. I'm just wondering. It's like, what bedtime stories are there with vampires in them? Like, I had Goodnight Moon.
Good night, Moon. I had it. Honestly, I just mostly like watched cartoons, and I had a plushie, and I couldn't go to bed without my plushie. Her name was Jenny. She was a Triceratops.
Nice.
And I took her to preschool, and I took her to first grade, and then I got made fun of, and then I stopped taking her to school. Because like, this
As
guy
you
has
do.
got a dinosaur. What a lame-o.
They were the ones who were lame. They didn't have any dinosaurs.
Yeah, they didn't have a fucking Triceratops named Sarah. I said Jenny earlier, but I remember Sarah now. It's Sarah.
Yeah, was it a Land Before Time plush?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because that makes sense
'Cause
actually.
Jenny was the person I was trying to like marry in first grade, and I used a hairband as a wedding ring.
As you do.
Look, man, we were stupid as shit, and then she moved.
Yeah.
So we did hug in a van because we were both too scared to kiss.
Yeah.
But it was just like, you may now hug the bride. So we hugged, and then I ran out and I told my dad that I buried Jenny. And he was like, whatever.
Yep. That's very much your dad.
Whatever, Jake. Elena's going back to that field she left Elijah in because he just said he's just gonna wait there.
He just let her go to talk to Stefan and Damon, and
Yep.
he just keeps standing there. I guess when you're like 100 years old vampire, like a couple minutes is probably nothing to you.
Damon tries to stop Elena, but Stefan's like, let her go. You can't stop being a salty bitch. Let her go. Now
Damon's like,
Catherine's just partying.
Everyone's just partying. She's blasting loud music and
Blasting
drinking.
loud music and drinking, and she dances with a lamp.
She's white woman dancing, but then
She
Klaus
doing
comes
some
in.
old school white woman dancing, and Klaus comes back and she has to pretend she didn't drink vervain earlier.
Because they gave her vervain to drink, so she wouldn't get compelled any further by Klaus.
Then some dudes with luggage come in the house too, with this big old box, and some witch named Greta.
Greta, I checked. That's Jonas's daughter.
Why wasn't she? Oh yeah, they were holding her hostage. I was like, why wasn't she with them? But yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I
she was
remember
being
this.
held hostage, but she seemed perfectly. Unless she's being compelled, she seems like she's in on this.
So now that we know the secret with Elijah, Elena's back and just goes, "Can you exposition at me some more?" And it's like, so Elijah's mother, that's me.
She had sex with another man.
She was not faithful and had sex with a werewolf man. And Klaus is the only son of that affair, and he is a werewolf, the original.
He's a werewolf vampire hybrid, and it's like, okay, we are getting a little crazy here.
And instead of the typical thing where you get both weaknesses, he has both of the weaknesses get canceled out, and
he has all the strengths, and he could create a whole race of super vampire werewolf hybrids.
Silver heals him, and he can't be killed by. He can only be killed by a witch.
Well, also a witch like cursed him to make his werewolf half dormant.
Yeah,
and that's part of the thing.
And they're going to kill Klaus mid-transition.
Mid-transition, yes, when he is transitioning
from a werewolf into a female.
Into a female.
Those are the two genders, female and werewolf.
Yes.
That's how it works. I'm sorry. That's just biology, man. You're either a woman or a werewolf. You either bark at the moon or the moon barks at you. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. We couldn't really think of a vampire equivalent.
I'm sorry. So he reveals he does care about what happens to Catherine, and it was something that Klaus needled him over back in the day, because it's a weakness vampires have. Love.
Fucking wooden bullets. Fire. Oh, an important lesson to learn. Fire is the weakness of all.
Stamen and Damon.
Stefan and Damon
are talking, and they get into a tussle because they're talking about, like, thanks for being in love with my girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, I have Andy because it means that I have someone I can pay attention to that isn't your girlfriend. And, like, Stefan insults him, and then Damon punches him as hard as he can, and they zoom into a bookshelf.
The camera's shaking even when no one's really like moving at some point.
And the camera's just going, like fucking 2014 WWE camera just shaking.
Right.
Zooming in.
Like they get into more of a scrap, but then Lena breaks it up, right?
Yeah, Lena shows up and he's like, "Stop it."
Oh yeah, Elijah's with her there,
and Elijah's there too.
Which leads to some questions, because he got ragdolled out of the house earlier. So did she invite him in? Does she have the power?
I think she has the power, but I think, honestly, I don't think this is the Salvatore house, but I can't tell because they didn't really give me a layout of the Salvatore house.
The thing is, I think I'm checking the wiki and it says locations: Salvatore house, Alaric's apartment, the Lockwood Mansion, the Gilbert house. It does not bring up.
So there the Salvatore house, and
so they are the Salvatore house. I feel like we've forgotten something here.
Does Elena have the right to invite people in?
Yeah, like did Elena at some point get bestowed the power to invite people into the Salvatore house, or?
Flashback: Klaus yells, "Do not lie to me!"
Oh yeah, something like that.
Elijah has come to a new deal where he will not hurt Stefan and Damon, but also they got to work with him.
You know, they all have a common enemy in Klaus.
But Damon's like, "You can go to hell," and storms off. Andy tries to comfort him, but he's like, "Why haven't you left? I'm angry."
No talk me angry. No talk me I angry.
No talk me angry. Drinks her blood, then compels her to fucking leave.
Get out before I kill you.
The witch, Greta, says a spell, and Alaric passes out. And then
he's free of the possession, and they open the magic box after they've rearranged all the smaller boxes.
Yeah, and they pulled out all the pirate swords that were in the box.
Yeah, they pulled out all the metal sheets that were separating the body parts.
Yeah, all the metal sheets that were separating the body parts, and they reveal Klaus is here, and he's the guy with the wig in the flashback. He's the same guy.
But he doesn't have the wig, and also he still very much looks like Zach.
He looks like Matt.
Or Matt, sorry.
But he's got a widow's peak.
He's got that widow's peak. That's the way you tell them apart, is that widow's peak.
Look, man, M for Matt, like M for upside down M for W for widow's peak equals Klaus.
It's not. This is not Ben Arthur.
And then
bald is it not bald?
And then K for kind of dumb looking for Matt.
That's not what. But
he's handsome, but he's also kind of dumb looking. Gotta admit it.
But the K is for fucking
K.
Klaus.
No, we gotta have an identifier. W for widow's peak equals W, which is the opposite of M, and M is for Matt.
But K is not the opposite of what?
It's next to K. Element K.
That's so.
K
There's an L
elemental
between
P.
them. Oh my god.
L for you take an L in this conversation.
K for Catherine,
K
who hates
for
him,
Catherine,
so it's
who
Klaus.
hates him, so it's Klaus. And W for widow's peak, as in Matt doesn't have a widow's peak, so it's the opposite of W. It's an M. And that's how you know.
That's it, I guess.
And that's when we end the episode.
This is pretty good, actually.
It got us from A to B.
Got us from A to B. A lot of flashbacks, so we could laugh at silly period costumes.
Silly wig Elijah.
Silly wig Elijah and silly wig Klaus looking like Matt.
Silly wig Klaus. W for wig for Klaus. Opposite of M. If you turn an M sideways, it looks like a K. No, it doesn't.
Doesn't look like an E.
No, it looks like an E, which isn't a K. I fucked up.
Okay, so yeah, fuck. Where the fuck?
Songs.
Songs, yes.
Helena Beat by Foster the People.
Yeah, Foster the People. Paradise State of Mind is coming out in 10 days.
Yeah, this is probably
You better be ready for that review, Ash.
Compulsion by Doves.
And
Only if they use more than one Foster the People song, but it sounds so different than fucking Pumped Up Kicks that you can't tell it's Foster the People.
It was also played really quiet.
And Get Some by Like Lee,
which was the song playing while Catherine White Girl danced.
She did the white girl dance. She pumped her arms.
She kind of twerked, but I don't think twerking was yet a thing.
She was kind of wiggling her butt. I don't think she was twerking. That'd be really weird if, like, just for no reason, just like Nina Dobrev threw it back for an episode for no reason. I feel like I would be concerned over the management if that was it.
I mean, if it's as Catherine, Nina Dobrev was an adult at that point.
No, she was an adult, but I'm just saying, like, that's some Dan Schneider shit. I'm just like, hey, can you pop ass and I record it? It's for the TV show.
For the episode.
That'd be weird. I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, that would be kind of weird. There's been worse, but it's like, yeah, that still would be a bit weird.
Well, we're going to try and record these now that the heat wave's over, and hopefully I stop fucking crashing now that I've plugged my headphones into a different outlet.
Yeah, we're really hoping that this is finally the solution to the crashing problem he's been having.
If not, I'm going to have to get a different computer.
If not, yeah.
The only good thing
if you get
is
a different computer after they send you the mouse.
This is leased.
Yeah.
I mean, you could cancel the mouse if you want, but my mouse is still dying.
That's true, so...
At least I can use it.
Yeah, if you don't, you'll have a backup.
No, this mouse sucks. I said this house.
This house also does suck.
So Google Podcast is shutting down because for some reason Google just shuts down things.
Yeah,
so,
just because.
But we're still on YouTube, and we're on Spotify.
Still on YouTube and Spotify. And anywhere else you can get a podcast, because Google Podcast was not the only podcasting site in the world.
Yeah, thank God. Did you know that Google was, like, just yesterday classified as a monopoly? And
Hell
like,
yeah.
they're suing to appeal. but apparently they can get broken up by antitrust laws, and I think that's kind of awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, fuck Google.
Jeffrey Bezos is gonna fall to his knees at a Walmart.
Wait, who runs Google?
Wait, I just said Jeffrey Bezos. That's not correct. Who's the asshole who runs Google?
Google. Who's the current person? Larry Page. He founded Google. Sundar Pichai. He's a CEO.
I guess, okay. It's weird. Google does not have the, okay, Sundar Pichai
He
is
fell to
going to
his
be
knees at
falling
a
to his
Walmart.
knees. He's going to be falling to his knees at a Walmart.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can also find us at our Tumblrs, Mega Fighter Free for free, and Ash Nightshade.
I will go back
And also-
to deer posting as soon as I'm done with this episode.
because he's probably got more pictures of deer. Also, you can find, I believe it's Arc Nightshade on Album of the Year,
Yeah.
where we will soon have a review of Paradise State of Mind by Voice of the People.
Maybe I could just plagiarize Anthony Fantano and no one will notice unless they watch this episode.
Well, here's the thing: it's either that or he'll remember that he's got to do a review of Hunting High and Low by Aha in 10 days.
Yeah.
Now it's the one I requested months ago, but you keep forgetting.
Well, I do keep forgetting. Because
That's fair.
I forget
but
things.
now it's now you got the option. Oh, I said 10 days. It's in 8 days.
I'm down to the wire here, folks.
Yeah, so it's either you remember and review Aha, or you will be stuck with Boss of the People.
Okay, fine.
Oh my god.
Well,
Anyway.
gotta go.
All right, we'll see you soon, folks.
I love you. K for Klaus. Good night.
Good night.